We are about to move into the SuperSports 600cc. We spoke about Zhuhai. Talk to me about this track and the difficulties other than the obvious corner 12.
Well, as the speeds increase throughout the day, these 600s are going to find the slipstreaming a little less prevalent than the smaller classes, which means they have to be sharper through the back of the circuit. So we're going to see a lot more dicing and overtaking in the back of the circuit there. But everybody's got to try and stop Buriram Boonalerth. I mean, he's won 5 out of 5 now, and I think that this could be the race that it happens. I'm hoping. I love Buriram, but let's hope that the boys can take it to him.
Here's yesterday's race number 1. Buriram on pole position in the blue livery, getting off from the immediate start, led into the first corner. Didn't have it quite all his own way, but did go on to make it 5 wins out of 5. And he looks confident, he's riding confidently. He'd never won in Buriram before. That was a little bit of a monkey off his back, but he didn't have it completely all his own way. And Adam Noradin would come up strong. Andy Farid Idzahar would challenge him at various times as well as Reza Danica Ahrens.
Absolutely. The man on the number 127 machine, Kazma Daniel, took it to him early on, and that really set the scene. It's the first time we've seen this year that Buriram under any sort of pressure, and you can see there he was under a lot of pressure, and not often you see that man Buriram in third. We know he's a hard trainer, but mentally he had to fight for this one. Kazma Daniel back to the CV Championship, gave it everything he could, but in the end Buriram kept on it. He gathered his momentum and put the pressure on, and it wasn't long before he was back in front. Kazma Daniel could only hang on.
That was a real key moment there. Little look over the shoulder, Kazma Daniel. I think he knew that Buriram just had that little bit much for him. The Yamaha team, Yamaha Thai racing team, very confident in the ability of Buriram, so they should be. 5 wins out of 5. With 4 laps to go, he and Kazma Daniel have pulled a big gap away from the likes of Ramdan Rosli, who would actually come in 3rd place, and Mohammed Ahmed Noradin, they're coming into 2nd. But for Kazma Daniel, having been so impressive, it would become a bit of a nightmare because he was challenging for P1, and then suddenly he went out to the podium.
Yeah, he certainly did, didn't he? He had all sorts of trouble. He ran off and then he got caught up in the battle for this spot on the podium, and ended up losing the battle because he'd spent so much energy earlier on. So he should have been a long way up the road, but made that mistake, got caught in the throes of this. Buriram had another easy win, nearly flipped the bike on the finish line as you would. Adam Noradin came through on his return to the series. Kazma Daniel got all out of shape, and unfortunately for him, missed his spot on the podium. But Andy Farid Idzahar got there.
Winner for Buriram Boonalerth. 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. 5 races, maximum points for Buriram Boonalerth. There was a happy celebration there for Ramdan Rosli. And that was the information from yesterday. This is the grid lane today, and let's go down to the grid where Wheeling is ready to talk to 3 of the riders.
Thank you, Des and Steve. Down here on the grid with Pasawit today, another home race for you. And today's a little special. You have a lot of fans in the crowd cheering you on, giving you extra motivation for race 2. So how are you looking forward to the 2nd race?
Yes, today I will do my best, and I wanna get the podium for all Thai fans. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pasawi. Good luck for the 2nd race. And starting right behind Pasawit is Fakuzi Shaki. So you guys may remember Fakuzi from the underbone class. So this year is his rookie year in the SuperSports 600cc. Fakuzi, so far this is your 3rd round in the SuperSports 600cc with a new team and a new bike. How are you adjusting to the 600?
Yeah, of course, not easy for the ride in 600, but I still learning many laps, and yeah, many different about riding and style riding and about the bike. I try my best.
Okay, thank you so much, Fakuzi. Good luck for race 2. And starting alongside Fakuzi is actually his former teammate in the underbowl class, but both riders are now in the SuperSports 600cc. That is Muhammad Helmi Asmat. Helmi, today another opportunity for you to try to get a good result here. How are you looking forward to the second race?
Yeah, this race 2 I will try to keep with the front group. So yesterday I have some corner problems, so I cannot to maintain to my position. And yes, today I will try my best.
Okay, thank you so much, Helmi. Good luck for the second race. And back to Des and Steve in the studio.
Thanks very much, Wei Ling. Good interviews as usual. Nice to see some of the guys towards the back of the grid. We don't often focus on them. And so we'd also like to focus on a new rider that we're going to get into the series. Joined as a wild card for today and going to be joining us for the rest of the season. I believe that Masai from China on the Yamaha in P13 at the moment is the lad we're going to be focusing on. And it's good to get Chinese competitors. It's good to get more international competitors for us, Steve Martin.
It certainly is, and as you said, Des, it looks like the wild card will be joining us for the rest of the year. And how great a news is that after just we heard that we're going to China, so he's going to be able to compete in his home race in a couple of races' time. He gets through Suzuka, and then bang, that man there, Ron Hogg, has made it all possible, and what a great thing to do. What a great series he's put on. We're here in Thailand, Suzuka, and then China. Great for the young rider, Masai.
Yeah, and then we go to Sepang and we finish once again here, round 7 in Buriram. And there's the marketing guys from the Buriram track. It's a good venue. It's only 5 years old, this track, but it seems like it's been on the calendar for a very, very long time. Hey, going
That McLarder?
Is it McLarder?
I think it's McLarder. I think she's gone up into the crowd to watch this one.
Brilliant.
Getting a bit of a clap there as well, and she deserves it. She's a great rider. But yeah, this is going to be an absolute cracker of a race. I mean, everybody's got to try and stop that man on pole position there. 5 out of 5. Pirapong Bunalet, he's been unstoppable. And, you know, interesting to see if he can do it. But Bunalet, we saw yesterday how hard he trains.
Nice helmet for him, but look at that. Race 1, first. Race 2, first. Second round, race 1, first. Race 2, first. Third round, race 1, first. 2 pole positions, 6 front row starts, 5 wins, 5 podiums. That's a season for you. But you think he's vulnerable in this race?
Well, I think there's got to be a time. I mean, he's the benchmark that everybody's chasing down. And I mean, we saw this guy, Kazma Daniel, yesterday really give it everything he could. He attacked him, he put pressure on him, he passed him. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit down, you can't say, okay, I'm going to finish behind Pirapong the whole year. There's got to be a point in this season where somebody stands up, where somebody says, you know what, now is the time. Perhaps it's going to be Andy Farad Isidar that makes the move today. He was strong yesterday getting on the podium, so you never know.
You forget how young these fellas are. Only 20 years of age is Andy Farad. Only 18 is Kazma Daniel. He's been on the circuit, on this AsiaRoadRacing circuit for quite a while. I think you might be right. McLarder in the middle of that group, getting photos. She might not have much of a chance to watch the race, but she ought to, because it promises to be a good Mohammed Ahmed Noruddin is on P4. And again, he's another one who came through yesterday to pick up points. Noruddin picked up 20 points yesterday. He's had a third, a fourth, and a second. That's a good season by any standards. And alongside Adam Noruddin, you've got Ramdan Rosley, who was also in the mix yesterday.
Yeah, Ramdan Rosley, what a ride he put through at the last gasp, the last corner, managed to put himself on the podium in 3rd position. So really good day for him yesterday, and that's going to bode well with his confidence if he can only get off the line well. The same with Adam Noruddin. He didn't get a very good start yesterday. If he gets a good start, another guy, both of those guys could take it to Pirapong. It's all about the start for those guys. Pirapong has been doing everything right all year long. You've got to get off that start line and put him under pressure from the start and not make any mistakes, and then we're going to see a real race.
Pirapong leads the championship standings by 65 points. He's got 125. Second, Andy Farid Idzar has got 60. But then there's a little bit of a grouping. Azroy Hakim Amwa, who picked up a 6th yesterday. He's on 59. Kazma Daniel, 49. What lessons Kazma Daniel will have learned from yesterday? Maybe just make sure you pick up the points, because he could have come 2nd, ended up 4th.
Well, I'll tell you now, Des, I take my hat off to him, because he tried to beat Pirapong. Wasn't his day, maybe today will be.
So here is the starting grid ahead of the SuperSports 600 second race. Pirapong Boonlet, Imperious on the Yamaha in P1. Kazma Daniel, the teenager from Malaysia, on the Hongleong Yamaha, the R6. Andy Farid Idzar, the 20-year-old of the Astra Honda racing team from Indonesia. Good international mix there. On the second row of the grid, the AP Honda of Kritchaporn is alongside the Ramdan Rosley, the 23-year-old from Malaysia, and Adam Noruddin from the Sepang International Circuit Junior Racing Team. Moving down onto row 3, Azroy Hakim Anwar Mushashi Bunshu Honda, who have a famous name in this SuperSports 600. Pasowitz we had a quick talk to on the Honda CBR 600. Reza Danik Ahrens, I'm looking for Reza to really begin to make some kind of an imprint on the championship in the next few races. Javier Maloy from Victor Racing Team in P10, alongside Fakruzi Rostam from 1XOX on the Yamaha. Alongside him, Helmi Azman, stepping up to the SuperSports 600s, having won the 250s, the Underbone 150 last year. Ahmed Afif Amram on P13. Welcome to Marseille on P14. The Chinese rider will be sticking with us through Suzuka and onto the rounds in China, Malaysia and Buriram. And Liam McDonald will be 15th on the grid. It's a small grid, just 15 riders, which can have advantages and disadvantages. Do you prefer a packed grid or a smaller grid, Steve?
Well, if you're a rider, you prefer to be on your own out front, like Pirapong's been all year long, and win easily. But I tell you now, as a fan, the more riders battling for that lead, the better. And I really do think that this is quite a young field we've got this year. There's been a big changing of the guard. A lot of guys have retired or moved up to the 1000cc class. So this is a class of the new champions that are looking to move into that ASB 1000 class now. So everybody knows that they've got to put their best foot forward. And we're about to see the change. I believe that this race will be the one where guys like Kazma Daniel will give it everything he's got.
Conditions are perfect. The sun is shining. The weather is warm but not unbearable. The track has been really good. Adam Noruddin prepares from his P4 position, bike number 77. Full time 139.264, top speeds there of 257 kilometers an hour, set of course by Pirapong Boonlet. And Pirapong, bike 26, gets off to a slowish start. Adam Noruddin has got off to a flyer. Adam Noruddin goes on the inside, will take 3rd place. Kazma Daniel will lead him, but Pirapong, for the first time this season, doesn't get away smoothly.
No, not exactly the way that he needed to do it, but he's in that leading group of 4 riders at the moment, and it looks like that Kazma Daniel's up there. Adam Noruddin is good too, but look at Pirapong right up the inside. He's already got through 2 people, and if he's up the inside, 4 in one corner, Pirapong, who's going to stop him?
That's impressive work from Pirapong Boonlet. Maybe given a shock to the system by the fact it was in P4 coming into the first corner, but normal service is resumed. Adam Noruddin, though, you said he needed a good start. He got a flying start, did Adam Noruddin on bike 77.
Well, he certainly had to work for it yesterday. He's had to work his way from 11th up through the field and up to onto the podium, but he's right where he needs to be now if he can stay with Pirapong for a little while. We know how mentally tough Pirapong is. He's already got the runs on the board. He's got 5 out of 5 wins. This is nothing to him. He can afford to have a DNF. Nothing to lose for Pirapong. He's going for broke. The others also have to go for broke because they can't have him beating him all year long.
Kazma Daniel, bike 127 in 3rd. Ramdan Rosley is in 4th on the 1XOX Yamaha. Picked up a 3rd place yesterday, a little bit further down, just trying their very best to keep in close contact. That is the 27, Andy Farid Idzahar. They come into the last corner of the first lap, and it will be Pirapong Boonlet, who leads the way from Adam Noradin, Kazma Daniel and Ramdan Rosley, with Andy Farid and Azroy Hakim completing the top 6.
Yeah, good to see Ramdan Rosley up there on the number 23 machine as well. Of course, on the podium yesterday, there he is on that green bike. He certainly knows how to ride towards the end of the race, especially when those tyres start to move around a bit. He's got himself in a good position, and he looks like he could dive up the inside of Kazma. Daniel can't do it, but Daniel's on a tight line. Boonalert's out wide, but no change in the order yet. Buriram is just stretching them out.
He is stretching them out, isn't it? It really was like a shock to Zemanskimov at the back. It's the Honda Idemitsu.
2 AP Hondas down. Oh, yeah, I don't want to go to that box afterwards. That's Passawit who's gone down, and that looks like 2 AP Thailand Hondas. Unfortunately for them, they will not be sitting next to each other on the plane on the way home. Is that
Razor Danica? Is that the other?
It could be Razor Danica. I'm pretty sure it is. We'll find out.
In the meantime, Adam Noradin has got himself pretty close to Pirapong Boonlet. You said Adam Noradin is a man who was looking in good form yesterday. Pirapong was looking like he was getting away, but Adam Noradin has kept close, and he's just digging himself further and further in. Yep.
I reckon one of those guys was Critchaporn, perhaps. We will see very shortly. But meanwhile, back out front now, it is Adam Noradin who's putting the pressure on. If you remember in Australia, Des, it was his brother riding that bike, putting the pressure on the field. Well, Adam thinks, you know what, I better go quicker than my brother.
Pirapong leads from Adam Noradin at the end of lap 2. The gap is 0.212, and it's 0.8 to third place Kazma Daniel, Andy Farid and Ramdan Rosley. So the top 5 haven't changed, neither the top 6. Razor Danica has got himself into P7. Here's the start again, and from P4, a brilliant start from Adam Noradin.
Yeah, Adam Noradin thought, well, this'll do me. I'm sitting pretty, and Pirapong's behind me. You can just see there, Pirapong didn't get the jump that he wanted to. Kazma Daniel, much better. Adam Noradin right up the inside from the second row of the grid. He'd have a start like that every day. Ramdan Rosley there too. But Pirapong tried to go around the outside, couldn't pull it off, ran out of road and had to settle for 4th.
You're quite right about the 2 riders going out. It was Passawit and Critchaporn. Passawit on the AP Honda Racing, and the Honda Racing team taking each other out. That might be a bit of an inquest.
And good to see Reza Danica up in 7th position. You were waiting for him to find form on the 600. He was sensational on the 250s last year, but 7th out there on track at the moment. That's probably his best result on the 600 so far.
Although he is a second down on Azroy Hakim, he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to try and make it into the top 6. Well, look at the front though, where Pirapong Imperious once again leads the tie on his home circuit. Perfect record so far. He must, I suppose, if you win here as well, you begin to think, could do a perfect season here, 14 out of 14.
I've never seen it done before. I've never seen it done. Just when you think it's going to happen, something happens. Someone has a good day, someone has a bad day. So he's just got to do everything he can. But already he's got such a lead in the championship that it's his championship to lose from this point.
One lap at a time, one corner at a time. Pirapong leads at the end of the second lap, 9 laps to go. Adam Noradin doing his best to stay close. Kazma Daniel has an anxious look over his shoulder. Andy Farid's got ahead of Ramdan Rosley, but those 5 not really changing. Ramdan has a look on the inside of Andy Farid, the 20-year-old, though slides that back wheel, keeps it nice and tight. So individual battles as they string out along this big straight.
Yeah, it is, but Pirapong just put in the fastest lap of the race, and you can just see now he's doing what he does best. And we saw yesterday one of the features was on Pirapong in his training. Every afternoon he does Thai boxing, the national sport of Thailand, of course, and he says it helps his mental strength. And I tell you, there is no one in this field that's as strong as him mentally at the moment. 39.6, stretching the field out. What another brilliant ride by him so far. It's up to the 2 guys in 2nd and 3rd, Adam Noradin and Kazma Daniel, to just try and find that something extra.
There's half a second between Pirapong and Adam Noradin, half a second between Adam Noradin and Kazma Daniel. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility they can pull this one back, but they can't really afford to let Pirapong get any further away. Beyond them, Andy Farid is very aware that Ramdan Rosley is breathing down his back wheel. But there is, once again, Pirapong perfectly poised, perfectly in form with his machine as they come with 8 laps to go.
Well, he's just done another 39.5, quickest lap of the race. He was a 10th quicker that time than Adam Noureddin, and Kazma Daniel was another half a second slower, so he was in the 40s. So Kazma Daniel is falling off the back of that pack. He needs to find something quickly. You can't let that man out front to get any more than a second lead. If he does, he's gone.
Once again, Andy Farry takes a nice tight line. Beyond them, this is Azroy Hakim, Ahmed Afif Amram. Reza Danika's lost a place to Ahmed Afif, and Helmi Azman stepping up is into P9.
For Cruz, he's in the back there too. Good to see him. Helmi Azman, like you said, these younger guys coming from the different classes, the 250 and the 150 classes last year. Good to see them making the jump up into this 600 class.
From the countryside, back in towards the grandstand, back onto the countryside once again. It's a 12-corner circuit here at the Chang International Circuit, just over 4.5 kilometers, so plenty of opportunity to make up the ground, but also plenty of opportunity if you're in the lead to extend your lead. And that's exactly what Pirapong Boonlet is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be hard for Ramdan Rosley to repeat his performance from yesterday on the podium, but he's sitting a little bit far away from the podium at the moment. Still quite a way to go in this race, but he's quite a couple of seconds off the podium positions at the moment, so he's going to have to find something with 8 laps to go. It's still a long way to go, Des.
Yeah, 5 of the 12 laps have now been completed. Pirapong's lead is now, it's improved to 0.747. He is lapping significantly quicker. He is taking 1/10 of a second on each of the last 3 laps.
It's all you need to do. He's probably got it well under control. And I'll tell you what, after watching that feature yesterday and seeing how hard he trains and how hard he can kick that boxing bag, I must say, he's a tough character.
Further down, Marseille is in 12th. Liam McDonald is on the bike, 25-second adrift in 13th. Javier Malloy, the Spaniard, is in 11th, and Fakrouzi is in 10th.
There's Azroy Hakim on screen at the moment, just 0.8 in front of Reza Danica, of course. Reza last year was unstoppable on the Astra Honda 250, won that championship. He's made the jump up to the 600s this year, and it's quite a big jump going from the 2-cylinder 250 machines to these 6-cylinder 4-cylinder machines, I should say. So big, steep learning curve for Reza Danica, but he is doing a good job out there, just behind Azroy Hakim.
The impression is that Adam Noureddin is making up a little bit of ground on Pirapong Boonlet, or maybe not, as they just come up that little hill. It's a bit of a procession, which we don't really like to see, but it's a 1.744 second lead between Adam Noureddin and Kazma Daniel. I'm interested in the gap between 1 and 2. It was 0.747 at the end of the previous lap. It is now, it's gone up again. Each lap, he is taking, well, that was 0.05 of a second, but he's increasing his lead lap on lap Pirapong Boonlet.
Yeah, as soon as it gets over a second, it's going to be really hard for Adam Noureddin, but you can see with the lap times that they're doing, Adam Noureddin is definitely not giving up. He's got Pirapong in his sights there, and he will do whatever it takes. But that Thailand Yamaha racing team, they've got some really good people in the garage there, brought in from Europe, from Yamaha Europe to work on the 600s and the 1000cc machines. Oh, one of the riders wide there, changing of the guard.
Ramdan Rosley goes into 4th place. Andy Farrett took a little wide lane there, but has got the straight line speed to retake 4th place. Or has he? Yes, indeed he has. So a temporary blip there, but just shows you that there are points available. You make a mistake and somebody is right the way down your back wheel. We saw that with Kazma Daniel yesterday.
I'll tell you now, that position, that 4th position, is a very important one to fight over, because if something happens to one of the 3 riders, you could be in shot with the podium. So that 4th is the next most important position to be in if you can't be in the podium positions, especially as it gets towards the end of the race.
This is the battle for P4, Andy Faradidzahar and Ramdan Rosley. Malaysia versus Indonesia. It's always a little bit spicy.
Yep, and Ramdan Rosley, of course, tasted the podium yesterday. He's in with a good chance, but that gap looks like it's increased again. The thumb is out.
Oh, it's over a second now.
Yeah, he's pulled out a good lap that time through. Another 39.6 for him, whereas Adam Norridin couldn't handle the pace and dropped to 0.3 that lap round. So it looks like, again, Pirapong's broken him.
Let's have a look for P6. Azroy Hakim, Reza Danica, Ahmed Afif in the blue. This is Azroy Hakim on the Musashi Boon Suyu Honda. They're used to winning this championship. They're not going to win it this year, unless something extraordinary happens. But he's winning this little battle for P6, Azroy Hakim. That's all he can really do, Azroy Hakim. He's had one podium position, but he's been 7th and 8th, or 6th, 7th and 8th throughout the rest of the season.
Well, this, apart from that podium, this will be his next best positions. Unlikely he can go further forward than where he is on track at the moment. So, and catch Ramdan Rosley, he's further up the track. So Azroy's got to do everything he can to try and equal that second best position of 6th place.
Riding nice and smoothly though, all within their own little minds. They're riding smoothly. They've all got their own little targets. As you can see, Reza Danica, he'll be aware that he's got Ahmed Afif just down his back wheel, but he's within a second of Azroy Hakim. He'll be wanting to catch up with Azroy Hakim.
Yeah, Azroy just, as you say, riding really beautifully. That Honda, one of the sweetest handling bikes out on the circuit, perhaps apart from the Yamaha. I mean, Yamaha bought this new machine out a couple of years ago now. It's the latest built 600. It's got all the modern cons and bells and whistles, and yet align them all up right and put a brilliant rider like Pirapong on board, away it goes.
Adam Norridin, that gap now is up to 1.5 seconds. But Adam Norridin himself has built up a 3.1 second lead, 2.6 second lead, sorry, over Kazma Daniel. Andy Farid is a further 3.5 seconds down on that. So there is a procession, but the procession can be difficult because you've got to keep your focus. You've got to make sure that you're doing the right things at the right speed in the right part of the track.
Well, Pirapong is a machine. He's just done another 1 minute 39.456, the fastest lap of the race. He's getting faster and faster every lap. Put that into perspective, Adam Norridin was 0.5, half a second slower that time round. So Pirapong Bunala is just doing everything like a clock at the moment. Andy
Farid Idzahar is catching up on Kazma Daniel. It is a big gap though. It's 3.8 seconds the difference between them, but he's lapping just a little bit quicker. Well, actually, Kazma has just put in a 1:40.291. There is Kazma Daniel, teenager, 18 years of age. When do riders really come good, Steve?
Well, you know, it's changing. It's a changing game. Back in the day when they started older, they were better when they were older. They were matured around the late 20s and early 30s. But now these guys, I mean, like, look at this guy here. He's, you would say that he's riding like a mature 30 or 35-year-old, but of course he's not. He's a youngster, and he is just riding beautifully. So it's changing. I would say it's at a younger general age now that they mature compared to the older days when they were a little bit had to be older because everybody started older. Most of these guys start on mini bikes and underbones and work their way through the field up to the 600s, and I'm sure that the aspirations for a lot of these guys now is to make their way into that 1,000 plus.
We have got less than 3 laps to go. This is the battle for P4. Andy Farid just leading ahead of Ramdan Rosley.
Great result there for those two guys. Ramdan Rosley just sitting behind the Andy Farad and trying to do everything he can because Pirapong, I've got to say, is just on such a sensational pace at the moment that you know, he could beat himself here. He's you know, he really is pushing the limits. And that spot there where the number 27 sits, position 4, that's where you want to be if something goes wrong with any of the front 3. Because that could be a podium position.
Very different kind of race to yesterday where there was plenty of incident. It's a different challenge for the riders. There is our focus is on the battle for P4 because this is the one where there could well be a change in position. Ahead of them, splendid isolation for Pirapong, Adam Norridin and Kazma Daniel. Focus and concentration is the key for them. Andy Farid certainly feeling the pressure. He's just 0.2 of a second ahead of Ramdan Rosley. Ramdan would love to pick up another 13 points to add to the 16 that he had yesterday.
From a rider's point of view, sometimes when you're on your own out there on track, it's even harder than when you're in a battle because everything seems to take longer to go by time. We've got a faller in the background.
And there it is. I think it's Reza Danica. Reza Danica's lost it on turn 12. Even when you're not racing in a position, you can lose it on that crazy, crazy corner.
And you know what? He'd just done his fastest lap of the race too. 1 minute 40.7. That's a very impressive lap time for Reza Danica. Okay, he crashed. But I'll tell you what, keep an eye on that Astra Honda rider. He's getting faster and faster every weekend. Here you go. He's gone in, he's wide. Lent on that front brake lever too much. Just tucked the front and down he went. Also looked like there could have been a little bit of fluid perhaps out of the front of the bike there. Not 100% sure, but there could have been. So I'm sure the marshals will be on top of that if there is, but might have just been the fairing scraping away on the track and causing some dust.
Well, in a race of his own is Pirapong. He's close to 3 seconds clear of Adam Noradin, who himself is over 3 seconds clear of Kazma Daniel. Battle for P4 continues. Andy Farid and Ramdan Rosley. Ramdan did get ahead of Andy Farid on one occasion, unable to do so since then. And then you've got Azroy Hakim, Ahmed Afif Amran. Helmi Azman is now up to P8. This is Ahmed Afif Amran, 18.7 seconds down, 7th position. What kind of lap times? He's posting just inside 142, a best lap of 140.910. But that came on lap number 4. And behind Ahmed, you've got Helmi Azman, as you say, stepping up from the 150s last year.
Yeah, definitely. He was unstoppable in the 150 class last year, was Helmi Azman. Brilliant result for him, took that championship convincingly. And if you want to talk about leaps, leaping from a 250 like Reza Danica has done into this 600 class is big, but from a 150 underbone to a 600 is a ginormous leap. So Helmi Azman, another rider who's improving lap by lap. But they're all after that man that's just flashed through our screen. Pirapong, once again, last time through a 39.6 as they head off onto the last lap. He is not slowing down.
3 riders out, Reza Danica, Krichapon and Pasowit, who the AP Honda riders took themselves out. That means Liam McDonald is 12th. Marseille, in his first series in the ARRC, is in 11th, the Chinese. Now then, we've had a change. Ramdan Rosley ahead of Farid Idzahar. He's bided his time beautifully, the Malaysian.
Yep, and he needed to do it on this lap, the last lap as they head off. Big move there, and puts himself into that position. Might not be for the podium, but 4th is definitely better than 5th. Much better points for that. And after the podium he had yesterday, every point counts to go towards that championship. But it is Pirapong now who heads down into that turn 12 with 1 lap to go. The team are up on the wall again. They must be getting tired of climbing that wall. Another wheelie over the line, and he's getting better at that too. What a win for Pirapong Boonlert, 6 out of 6.
And Adam Noradin picks up his second of the campaign, and the battle for P4 is won by Ramdan Rosley. He's done well. That was probably the highlight of this particular race, the scrap between Ramdan and Andy Farid Idzahar for the battle of P4. But it's Pirapong, 6 races, 6 wins, coming in, coming through. That's Helmi Azman in P8, Fakrouzi 9, Javier Malloy 10, and Marseille will come through in 11th with Liam McDonald, who will get a finish and will pick up 3 points for his 12th place.
Yeah, good to see Liam McDonald finishing. Not sure that he did yesterday, but look at Pirapong. He doesn't mind getting that bike nearly vertical. He's pretty good at the old wheelies. Doesn't mind getting it up there, but boy, 6 out of 6. That's not the impressive thing. The impressive thing, Des, is his lap times. They were just like 39.4, 39.5, 39.6 the whole way through to the end. The last lap, he did back it off a little bit, 40.2 for him on that last lap, but that was still the fastest lap of the race when he was cruising around.
Confirmation, Pirapong Boonlert, 6 wins out of 6. The lead is over 75, 79 points in the championship. Adam Noradin, 2nd on the day. He moves up to 69 points in the overall championship standings. Kazma Daniel, he moves into 3rd place. podium for him after a disappointment of no podium yesterday. Ramdan beating Andy Farid into P4. Azroy Hakim, the best of the Mushasi Boone Shoe Hondas in P6. Helmi Asman in 8th. Between them, Ahmed Afif Imran. Fakruzi, Javier Malloy, Masai and Liam McDonald will all pick up points. Reza Danica crashed out on corner 12. Kritchapon and Pasowitz, well, I'd love to know what their management are going to say to them.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
But brilliant. I mean, textbook from Pirapong Boonlert. And, yeah, practicing the wheelies, because let's talk now about an unbeaten season. I know we're only 6 out of 14, but is an unbeaten season a possibility?
Well, at this point, it is a possibility, but I just have never seen it before, you know. I mean, it's come close, different championships even this year, and some of the different championships around the world, it was looking like a certain rider would win every race, but there comes a time and a track where it doesn't gel or something goes wrong. But if he could pull that incredible year off, I'm sure he'd get some sort of brilliant reward. You'd have to think that this young man would be at least moving into the ASB 1000s and deserves a superbike. But you know what? He deserves, in my opinion, if he wraps his championship up early, why not put him on a superbike here for the final round? That's what I reckon.
We'll see what happens then. There is a long way to go, but
There is.
if you win 6 out of 6 and you have a lead of 79 points, then I reckon you...
Well, he's got 1.5 race meetings lead at the moment. He doesn't even have to go to Suzuka if he doesn't want to, and he'll still be leading the championship by over a race win. So very, very impressive stuff for Pirapong. Good to see him there. Look, he's holding the R6 flag up.
Well, he'd never won here at Buriram before this weekend. He was always a man who was not quite the star name, but he's worked hard on his personal health, on his personal fitness. We saw that in a profile he did yesterday, and it's reaping rewards on the track. Obviously, the work going on in the pits and the bike that he's on make it not easier, but certainly help him. But as an athlete, he's certainly doing everything he can possibly do.
Well, I hope Wei Ling's fit, because if she's going to have to chase him down, she'll be climbing a few walls, because he's right up there and very happy. Thanking the fans for coming out. I mean, I really liked what I saw about him. I think he's a really respectful guy.
There he is on pole position as we look at the highlights of this SuperSports 600cc race number 6 of the season. Didn't get off to a good start. The good start came off from Adam Noradin from P4 to P1, bike 77, going into the first corner in 3rd place for Pirapong Boonlert. Having been stung by that, got himself back into P1 by the turn 3 and never ever looked back. Yeah,
In fact, he made that overtaking manoeuvre. We were getting excited, but he passed 4 guys in one corner. So Pirapong Boonlert out in front, and we thought he was on for a bit of a fight, because the Adam Noradin there in 2nd position was able to match his lap times lap for lap for the first 3 or 4 laps in this race. Brandon Rosley in the background there doing a good job too. 2 of the AP Honda riders, Pasowit going down, and Kritchapon. Don't want to be sitting next to them on the plane on the way home, because they'll certainly have a few things to say to each other. But up front, still with 10 laps to go, there was pretty close. Meanwhile, back in the back, it was Azroy Hakim who was doing his best job to try and keep the rest at bay. It was a good job for Azroy too. Finished 6th, so top 6 finish for him was a good result.
All the way through, though, it was a bit of a procession, which isn't the best television to watch, but in terms of building your own confidence and getting your fan base going, Reza Danica crashing off as he just took the notorious corner 12 wrong. Stern looks from his bosses. And then the highlight was the battle between Ramdan Rosley in the green livery and Farid Idzaha. Ramdan just eventually taking that, having made the overtaking manoeuvre in the last lap. But there is the winner. Again, 6 wins out of 6. There's not a lot to say other than that. That's a brilliant, brilliant performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, he's had more practices than wheelies anyone this year. And what a wheelie that is. What a way to finish his race weekend.
Okay, let's go down to wheeling, and we have got the podium in which Pirapong will once again be picking up the position on P1.
We'll begin the podium ceremony for the SuperSports 600cc Race 2. Coming in third place today, Kasma Daniel Kasma Yudin from Hong Leong, Yamaha, Malaysia. In second place today from SIC Junior ZK Racing Team, Muhammad Adam Muhammad Noruddin. And today's race winner from Yamaha Thailand Racing Team, Pirapong Bunlat. So I'd like to invite the team manager of Yamaha Thailand Racing Team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national Mr. Tanukia Junchum, the Director of Professional Sports Development and Boxing Department at the Sports Authority of Thailand, to present the riders with the trophy. Coming in third place today, Kasma Daniel Kasma Yudin from Hong Leong, Yamaha, Malaysia.
โพเดียมอันดับที่ 3 ครับนักแข่งจากมาเลเซียคัสมาแดเนียลคัสมายูดินครับ
And in second place, Muhammad Adam Muhammad Noruddin from SIC Junior ZK Racing Team.
โพเดียมอันดับที่ 2 ครับจากมาเลเซียเช่นกันครับมูฮัมหมัดอาดัมโนโรดิน
And today's SuperSports 600cc Race 2 winner, Pirapong Bunlat from Yamaha Thailand Racing Team.
และเจ้าของวินเนอร์โพเดียมครับพีรพงษ์บุญเลิศจากยามาฮ่าไทยแลนด์เรซซิ่งทีม
And today's Best Team Award goes to Yamaha Thailand Racing Team.
และรางวัลทีมอวอร์ดครับยามาฮ่าไทยแลนด์เรซซิ่งทีม
Well, thanks to Mr. Tanaka Junkum from the Sports Authority of Thailand. Good to get the sports authorities involved in this international motor racing series, the Asia Road Racing Championship. We are approaching a quarter of a century years of age. Pirapong Bunlat, he's only just appointing a quarter of a century, but he's got 150 championship points, and he's taken another victory today. Adam Noruddin, a 40-point weekend for him. Kasma Daniel, a third today to add to his fourth yesterday. What it means in the championship standings is that Pirapong has a championship of his own, 150 points, 79 clear of Andy Farid. But beneath Pirapong, it's fun. Just 6 points separating Andy from Kasma Daniel in fifth place. So plenty for those four riders to really be competing for. Azroy Hakim Anwar keeps up picking up 10 points here, 10 points there. Don't write him out. He can improve out throughout the season. Ramdan Rosley, good weekend for Ramdan as well. He's picked up 29 points this weekend to take him on to 49. Ahmad Afif Amran on 48 and Helmi Azman on 47. So pretty competitive in the SuperSports 600 Championship. If you take away the runaway leader, Reza Danica crashed out. Missed opportunity today for Reza Danica. Another missed opportunity. Pasowit, oh dear, they won't be talking to each other. Ibrahim Noruddin, who raced in Adelaide, didn't race here. Kritchapong crashed out with Pasowit. Fakruzi, Javier Malloy, good to see him on the points. I think he picked up 6 points, the Spaniard on the Yamaha. Liam McDonald picking up points as well for. And Marsim, he takes his tally up to 8 for the season, with 3 yesterday and 5 today. So that's the SuperSports 600cc. Terrific performance from Pirapong Bunlat. We'll see if he can carry that on in Suzuka. We turn our attention after the break, though, to the really big boys, the Superbikes, the 1000cc's. It's the finale, the final race of this round 3 of the Idemitsu Asia Road Racing Championship, and it's coming up after this short break.